100 favorite films because there's just so many, you know. I mean, it depends on which day you ask me.
Francis Ford Coppola, the visionary director behind some of the most celebrated films in cinematic history, has never shied away from creative battles. Whether it was wrestling with studio executives over budget constraints or clashing with actors whose egos matched their talent, Coppola's career has been punctuated by conflicts that have become the stuff of Hollywood legend.
This is just sort of salacious, trying to make money kind of book, and so I disregarded it. When they offered it to me, I turned it down.
What changed your mind?
While his masterful storytelling and aesthetic sensibilities have cemented his status as one of the greats, his working relationships with some actors have been fraught with tension, even outright hostility. If there was one actor who truly tested Coppola's patience, it was Marlon Brando. The legendary star of The Godfather was at once a genius and a nightmare to direct.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me for counsel, for help. I can't remember the last time that...
Despite initially struggling to convince Paramount to cast Brando as Don Corleone, they told me in no uncertain terms, Marlon Brando will never appear in this picture. Coppola once recounted, the director soon found himself dealing with an actor whose brilliance was matched only by his eccentricity. Brando's antics on set are now infamous. He refused to learn his lines, forcing crew members to hold up cue cards for him during takes. He experimented with a variety of voices and mannerisms for the character, at one point stuffing cotton balls in his mouth to achieve the now iconic rasp. Coppola, despite his admiration for Brando's ability, often found himself at the mercy of the actor's whims. Brando tormented me, Coppola later admitted. He was an extraordinary performer, but he made my job very difficult. One particularly frustrating moment came when Brando, unhappy with the scene, simply refused to act.
To me in friendship, and the scum that ruined your daughter would be suffering this very day. And if by chance an honest man like yourself should make it.
He would sit in his chair, arms crossed, and stare blankly, daring Coppola to challenge him. I knew I couldn't force him to do anything. He had all the power, the director recalled, and yet, despite the difficulties, Coppola knew he had struck gold. Brando's performance was so captivating that all was forgiven.
I hope that we could come here and reason together. And as a reasonable man, I'm willing to do whatever's necessary to...
Even at his most difficult, you just had to surrender to his genius, Coppola later said. The tension between Coppola and Frank Sinatra dates back to The Godfather's earliest days, even before the cameras rolled. Sinatra, a titan of the entertainment industry, reportedly despised the project, believing it was a slanderous portrayal of Italian Americans. More personally, he was enraged by the widely held belief that the character of Johnny Fontane, a washed-up singer with mob connections, was based on him. According to Coppola, Sinatra made no secret of his disdain. I heard that Sinatra told people he'd make sure this film never got made, he said. He had a lot of influence, and he used it. When Coppola and Sinatra were introduced at a Los Angeles restaurant, the meeting quickly turned sour. Sinatra, never one to hold back, allegedly dismissed the young director as an upstart punk and made it clear he wanted nothing to do with him. Years earlier, Coppola had worked on Guys and Dolls.
Frank Sinatra has amazed the entertainment world with his dramatic prowess. Now to prove he's still the top song interpreter, here he is as Nathan Detroit.
Oh, Adelaide, Adelaide, ever-loving Adelaide.
The musical in which Sinatra co-starred with Marlon Brando. Though he was not yet a director, Coppola saw firsthand the tension between the two stars. Sinatra and Brando were at each other's throats the entire time, he recalled. It was a Cold War between two enormous egos. Sinatra's contempt for The Godfather would last for years. Though he ultimately failed to stop the film's production, he never forgave Coppola for making it. I was never on his Christmas card list, that's for sure, the director later joked. Winona Ryder was one of the most sought-after young actresses in Hollywood. Fresh off her success in Heathers and Edward Scissorhands,
God, Veronica, drool much? His name is Jason Dean. He's in my American history.
she was cast as Mary Corleone in The Godfather Part 3, a role that carried immense weight given the film's legacy.
I'm sure you
gives grants to artists, funds medical research, and is particularly dedicated to the resurrection of Sicily.
However, just days before filming was set to begin, Ryder dropped out, citing exhaustion. Coppola was left scrambling. It was devastating, he later said. We had everything in place, and suddenly our lead actress was gone. Coppola had no choice but to replace her. He cast his own daughter, Sofia Coppola, in the role.
Only if you ask.
What is this really for? Why are you doing this? Why am I doing this?
I'm doing this for my children.
A decision that would become one of the most controversial aspects of the film. But beyond the backlash, Ryder herself felt Coppola resented her for the chaos her departure had caused. I thought he hated me, Ryder admitted years later. I was young, I was sick, and I just couldn't do it. But I felt like I had let him down. Their relationship, however, did not remain fractured. Ryder, wanting to mend fences, later approached Coppola with a project she believed was perfect for him, Bram Stoker's Dracula. To her relief, Coppola agreed to direct.
See me now.
It was a way for us to work together again and move past The Godfather Part 3, Ryder later said, and I think we did. While Bram Stoker's Dracula may have helped repair Coppola's relationship with Ryder, it also led to one of his most contentious on-set disputes, this time with Gary Oldman, who played the titular Count. Oldman, a method actor known for his intense performances, threw himself into the role.
Forgive my ignorance. I am you recently arrived from abroad and I do not know your city.
But his approach clashed with Coppola's vision, leading to several heated arguments. One particularly infamous dispute arose during a rehearsal in which Coppola criticized Oldman's portrayal of Dracula's fury in an asylum scene. Feeling insulted, Oldman fired back, leading to a shouting match that left the entire crew on edge. We had different ideas about the character, Coppola later explained. Gary wanted to play him one way, and I had another interpretation. It led to some, let's say, passionate discussions. Oldman too later admitted to the tension, but expressed respect for Coppola's artistry. We butted heads, no doubt about it, he said, but Francis is a brilliant filmmaker, and sometimes friction leads to magic. Francis Ford Coppola's career is a testament to the idea that conflict is often an intrinsic part of artistic brilliance. His battles with actors were not mere personality clashes, but reflections of his relentless pursuit of perfection. Whether it was Brando's defiance, Sinatra's hostility, Ryder's departure, or Oldman's creative disagreements, each conflict shaped the final product in some way. As Coppola himself once said, filmmaking is a war, and you have to fight for what you believe in. Looking at his body of work, one thing is clear: the battles were worth it.